Hey everybody, in this video I am going to walk you through the first slide and how to do our "Twas the Night Before Christmas Changing the Tone" activity. Alright, so the very first slide has this set of instructions. The instructions say, the narrator in this literary holiday classic handles Santa's home intrusion with much more grace than most people probably would have. The narrator's attitude about the situation is reflected in the tone he uses to describe the events throughout the poem. Your job, should you choose to accept it, will be to reimagine the events of this poem as if the narrator was furiously angry about Santa's Christmas Eve B&E. You'll replace certain words and phrases with angrier and more aggressive alternatives to give this poem an entirely new vibe. So what that looks like is here. So we have the first paragraph in its original tone, with the original wording. "'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down our brains for a long winter's nap." All right, so you notice that there are three words that are highlighted here: stirring, snug, and sugar plums. Now down here in the green, this is where you're going to replace the underlined words with a new word that helps to create an angry tone, because remember, we're reimagining this poem as if the narrator is pretty hacked off if this fat guy in a red suit has broken into his house in the middle of the night. So you're going to try to replace these words with their more angry and aggressive counterparts. So here's how you might go about doing that. The first word we have to replace is stirring. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. So a trick that I would use would be to highlight that word up here in the red box, right click it, and go to define, just to ensure that you know exactly what this word means. And be sure you're looking at the right form of the word. So in this sentence, not a creature was stirring. Stirring is a verb. So let's make sure we go down here and we look at the verb's definition. It says to move a spoon. We're not talking about stirring with a spoon. Move or cause to move slightly. That's probably it. So the synonyms would be to move slightly, to change one's position, to twitch, quiver, tremble, disturb, rustle, shake, move, flutter, agitate, swish. So we got to figure out, if this guy was in a bad mood, how would he say this? What word would he use besides stirring to get across that he's kind of upset? Things were so peaceful, things were so quiet, the house was so nice and calm before this guy broke in. So one of the synonyms for stirring is disturb. And so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, disturb sounds pretty angry, pretty aggressive. What's another? What about saying it like this? Not a creature was bothering me, not even a mouse. To disturb someone, to bother someone, that sounds a little bit more angry than just saying stirring, right? Or moving. Not a creature was bothering me, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug. So we got to do the same thing here. Highlight it. Go to define. Snug. We're looking at the adjective. Comfortable, warm, and cozy, well protected from the weather or cold. She was safe and snug in Ruth's arms. And we have all of these synonyms for the word snug. So remember, I'm upset. I'm angry that this guy's broken into my house and ruined all this peacefulness that I was enjoying. So what's a more negative way to say that? What's an angrier word aside from snug? Is there any over here? Homely, comfy, bleak, unwelcoming. Those really don't make sense. But if snug means to be warm and cozy and well protected, I would say the opposite of that, which meaning kind of the same thing, might be able to say the children were nestled all crammed in their beds, kind of like snug, but a more uncomfortable version of it, right? And then lastly, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Now this is one, and there's going to be a few of these in this activity, where you have kind of creative liberties with this one. Because when we go to define sugar plums, it's just a small round candy of flavored boiled sugar. Not a lot of synonyms or antonyms for that. So that's just like a pleasant, fun, whimsical image that these kids are dreaming of. So if we're trying to be a little bit more angry and, upset about this whole thing? What's something a little bit more negative that we could say the kids had dancing in their heads as they dreamed? I'm going to go extreme here. While visions of night terrors danced in their heads. So that's all that you're doing. You're going to go through each of these slides. Some have more words highlighted than others. You're going to look at the words that I have highlighted, check their definitions, make sure you understand what they mean, and then simply try to replace them with, with alternatives that change the overall tone of the poem from being happy and whimsical and fun to a little bit angry and upset that this guy is ruining your peaceful, or this guy is ruining the narrator's peaceful Christmas Eve evening. All right? So once again, I replaced the word stirring with bothering me, the word snug with crammed, and sugar plums with night terrors to get us started. Feel free to use my answers for slide 2, but you guys are on your own with slides 3 through 6. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, get this knocked out, have fun with it. I'm looking forward to reading what you guys come up with.